talking about corruption. An investigation by the group Tax Justice SA has found that 2 of every 3 cigarettes sold in South Africa are illicit. It makes South Africa possibly the world's largest black market for cigarettes. The group goes on to say that it considers all cigarettes sold at 25 rand a pack or below to be illicit. I want to talk to Yusuf Abramjee now, who is with the organization. Yusuf, good afternoon to you. Has it always been this bad, or did the ban last year exacerbate matters?
Good afternoon, Jeremy. It's been carrying on for many, many years. When the lockdown ban on cigarettes took place last year, various organizations, including the Tax Justice non-profit organization, raised the concern that post the unbanning of cigarettes, we're going to see a growth in the illicit trade. And that's exactly what we've seen. The market is now flooded with illicit cigarettes. In fact, we had a researcher going out to Pretoria, to Johannesburg, Durban, Cape Town, and out of the 40 some odd stores, supermarkets visited, only one was selling cigarettes for above the minimum collectible tax of 20 rand and 1 cent. The 39 stores all were breaking the law, which means that billions of rands is being lost to the South African fiscus at the time when government needs money for vaccines, for whatever. And this problem is really growing, Jeremy, and that is why we documented and we sent a report with all the details before we went public to SARS, to the police, and we expect them to act.
Have we got to the point, and the figures that you're citing are fairly horrifying, where it's almost become impossible to police this?
Indeed, it's a free-for-all. These criminals are running amok. The factories that are supplying it are clearly also not paying their taxes. We know the smuggling between Zimbabwe and South Africa is rife, particularly the Remington brand, manufactured in Zimbabwe by Gold Leaf Tobacco. These products are all over the show, and it's a real concern. And we are really concerned about the influx of the illicit trade.
The figures that you cite, Yusuf Abramjee, and I'll let you put your earpiece back in your ear. Don't worry, I've had similar problems when I've been in the field myself. The head of the Fair Trade in Tobacco organization, Sinan Mnguni, says that your research isn't credible, and he has accused you of being a front group for Big Tobacco. Let's get that out the way. Is that true, and are you funded by Big Tobacco?
Absolutely not. We are on record repeatedly, and he's like a stuck record repeating these allegations. We are not funded by Big Tobacco. In fact, we have no funding. We haven't gone public with any crowdfunding. We have no expenses. We don't draw any salaries. So FITA is clearly trying to deflect from the real situation. When we interviewed FITA and its chairperson for Crime Watch, should have broadcast last week, he said we will investigate. So why don't they investigate? Why don't they confront the brutal facts? So the misinformation from FITA is a real problem. They need to confront the brutal facts. They're sidestepping the issue. They need to bring their members, Jeremy, who are breaking the law, to book. So for him to say it's independent, in fact, you don't even need Tax Justice to say that the illicit trade is rife. You can simply go yourself to a corner shop, ask them what a packet of RG or Sharp or any other brand for that matter costs, and you will see how widespread the sale of illicit cigarettes are.
To what extent, and this is a final and a quick question, to what extent does SARS need to change the way it's operating, the Revenue Service?
SARS has made some breakthroughs. Edward Kiswit acknowledged that he received our report and he promised to investigate, but I think SARS really need to wake up. They need to bring these people to book. They need to make sure that they put inspectors at all the cigarette factories, let them audit the cigarette factories. They need to have raids on these retailers. They need to educate them. They need to strengthen the borders. And I wouldn't be surprised that there could even be corrupt members within SARS that are aiding and abetting these criminals. And remember, we are saying about 8 billion rand, Jeremy, is lost each and every year because of illicit cigarettes only. So instead of Tito Mboweni in the upcoming budget going to raise the so-called sin taxes, why don't they rather focus on collecting these monies from these criminals and bringing these criminals to book?
The organization is called Tax Justice South Africa. Yusuf Abramjee, thank you very much indeed. Now